Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday! Happy Good Friday, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this lovely day here in the Bay Area. Today we have Barr. Barr, how to manage 400 plus SEO clients. As you know, I'm trying to build my own SEO agency. I'm trying to learn as much as I can get. Eric, my man, yo, what's up? If you guys want a copy of the SEO in 2025 book, I still have a few more copies left. Shoot me your address at dre@seo.video, dre@seo.video if you want a copy of this. They even give a shout out to the SEO video show right on the cover. So if you guys want a copy of the book, let me know. So Alex was on the GBP Roast show earlier this week. And I want to go deeper into how he manages 400 clients and how he was able to exit. I want to hear his story about that. And learn how he actually was able to systemize everything. We're going to go over a few things like systematizing without sacrificing customization, protecting margins and knowing your numbers, aligning client expectations with strategy, and becoming truly data-driven. We got about 9 more minutes to go. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. And my bad for last week. We've been having a bunch of scheduling problems going on. Oh, I see Alex here in the back. My man, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep. All right. Let's see here. We're just saying what's up to everyone.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, yeah. Alex, where are you calling from?
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
There's more bison than people.
more what? Bison.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see here. If you're just tuning in, we'll be learning how to manage 400 plus clients successfully and build a successful agency. We're going to hear Alex's story. I met Alex at SEO Spring Training last year, which is a conference that's actually coming up just around the corner. If you guys are into conferences and want to learn more network, which is, I feel your network is your net worth. That is a great conference to check out. SEO Spring Training by Terry and Elizabeth Samuels. Shout out to the Samuels family for running that. Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Sad I can't make it this year. Are you going?
No, I won't be able to go this year. I'm pretty busy on this time.
Yeah, it's horse show season, so.
Yeah, you're telling me that your wife's a judge for like a horse show?
Yeah. So we're gonna be all the way from Montana to Texas, all over the place.
Oh, so you're gonna be like it's a traveling show or something, or is it? How does that work?
Oh no, there's a bunch of different shows that she's judging.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like the season starts.
Oh, okay. Oh man, Stefan. Hi everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome, Stefan. We have everyone trickling in real quick. We got about 6.5 more minutes to go. Let's see here. So I saw that you actually have another project. Are you you're doing some data advertising, or you're collecting some data and doing some target advertising? Is that
doing some data advertising for?
I don't know. I saw it on the long shot. When I look at the long shot.
Long cut?
Or long cut, long cut. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing identity resolution and
identity resolution. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
it really supports everything else that we're doing in the digital marketing world. So.
Got it. So wait.
Been leaning heavy into data.
So do you still have an agency right now, or you sold it?
I sold my last agency. That was an SEO agency. And so, yeah, I've had a couple of agencies. I've had a web design agency, an SEO agency, a lead gen agency. So, yep,
Nice.
as of 2024, December 2024, I got rid of my last SEO client. So I still support SEO agencies, but I personally don't have any SEO clients. I have properties that I do SEO on, though. So I'm not completely out, but I'm just not doing the client thing right now because I'm leaning into the data. So
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm working with a lot of SEO agencies, though, that we go ahead and we send people their way when they want to do organic, or they want to do paid. So.
Oh yeah. If you guys are tuning in, we will be talking about how to launch a successful SEO agency. As you know, I am a consultant and I would love to build an agency to help alleviate some of my time. Let's see here. And then when your SEO clients, were you mostly local, or did you have like enterprise, like SaaS startups? Or
I sold an agency in 2023 that was 100% enterprise clients. But as of 2024, a majority of my clientele was local.
Got it. Yeah, I'm getting a mix. I mean, I started enterprise. I'm still doing enterprise, but I wanted to get more into local. But I feel like in local, it's just starting to get time consuming. For me, at least. So I'm hoping to get some.
It all depends upon how you set it up, right?
Yeah.
So it all depends upon how you set it up. They can both be a nightmare, and they can both be, pretty streamlined. So.
Yeah, looking forward to learning a few things here that I can apply and hopefully start when I build my own agency. I keep saying that was my goal for 2025, was for me to build my agency. And so I'm slowly chipping away at it.
Q1's already gone. Come on, Dre.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know. Like, I have people holding me accountable too, so I know that I'm going to be getting a call for them. So, I mean, just to check up on me and see how I'm doing on the agency side. But yeah, I definitely want to get one going.
Well, how many clients do you have right now?
I have like 10.
So that counts as an agency.
No, but I'm the one doing all the work. It's all me.
Well, you're a one-man agency. So now we just got to figure out operations and, document everything and build some enterprise value to the agency.
Yeah. Yep. Love that. Fletcher. Hi, Alex and Dre.
Hey, man.
Let's see who else is here. Millennial Money Mom. What's your roadblock, Dre? Oh man, thank God it's Friday. I know. I love. The thing is, I love doing the work myself too. I mean, I love seeing it and doing it. It's just sometimes I know I have a problem delegating. That is one of my problems. I have. It was kind of a thing also when I was in the corporate world. Delegating things was which is not a good thing because I end up
you gotta trust the process.
Yeah. So we got who else is in here? We got about 2 more minutes to go. Again, if you guys want a copy of the SEO in 2025 book, I have a few more left. They even give a shout out to the SEO video show on the cover here. So if you want a copy, ship me your mailing address at dre@seo.video, dre@seo.video. And if you're in the United States only, because if I looked at shipping this thing out internationally, it
costs
it's not
a thin book either.
Yeah. when I ship it out to when someone wanted one from I think in the UK, it was gonna cost me like $70 something. I'm like, dude, you can just buy it on Amazon. I mean, it wasn't worth it. So, Ernesto, yo. So I saw that you had a book. I didn't. Did you have? I couldn't find it. Is it on Amazon? I clicked on the link.
Yeah, I got a couple.
You have a couple. Oh, I'd love to learn more about those.
Books are awesome. They're amazing lead magnets.
Interesting. And then did you use? So you got lead magnets for like your agency? You kind of use books to.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh man, I would love to learn some of that stuff. Nubia Cohen, hi. All right, so we got about less than a minute to go, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute, and I'm going to call you in about like 3 minutes after I do my little quick intros.
Sounds perfect.
All right. Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work.
Whoops. Let's go come back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de
There we
Vera.
go.
Steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he
I'm
knows
getting
all
restless.
about it. Master the art of SEO. You will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge. Legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fed. My name is Paul Andre de Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week. It's about 1 minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and today we have the SEO agency advisor, Alex Barr. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let's see who we have in chat. Eric, what's up? Nubia, Ernesto, Millennium Monument, Fletcher, Stefan. Welcome, everyone. And before we get started, let's get on with the show.
Hey Dre, why do SEOs love the farmer's market? Lots of organic content.
Oh man, I'm getting rusty here. I missed 1 week and I'm just getting off on the timing. All right, so the Search Analytics API now supports hourly data. This will now enable developers to create solutions that display not only hourly data for the latest day, but also to be compared to the most recent day at the same time in the previous week, which will be useful when analyzing patterns or specific days of the week. This new data will enable you to monitor your recently published content more effectively and take action in a timely fashion. I guess they just want you to get your content fresh out there. All right. So I'm not going to do any video clips this week. I was actually searching for a ton of a bunch of SEO videos out there. I couldn't find any actual insights or action insights, except there were a bunch that were already shared on the GBP Roadshow. So let's get on with the show. And before I introduce my guests, here's a word from our sponsor. Did you know a press release alone isn't enough? Visibility is key. You need a multi-platform strategy to share your story across news, audio, video, and social media. Welcome to Magic PR, where your press release transforms into a powerful media experience, maximizing exposure and engagement. We distribute your release to top outlets like Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Business Insider, and more. Plus, your release is SEO optimized, ensuring better search rankings. But we don't stop there. We turn your press release into a podcast, distributing it across 25 platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Then, we create a social media content for Facebook, X, and Instagram, and even transform your story into a video press release for YouTube and top media sites. Video drives over 80% of higher engagement, and short-form content is king. We make viral videos for your YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and more. At Magic PR, we don't just publish, we amplify. Get your press release seen, heard, and shared everywhere. Visit magicpr.com today and take your brand to the next level. Now let's introduce our guest.
Alex is an open book and highly sought after SEO agency advisor. He's the author of the long kind of story he built. An executive 400 clients agency. He has his own mastermind of SEO agency owners. He's a speaker, consultant, and an hourly rate of $1,000. Please welcome Alex C. Barr.
Oh, yeah, my man, Alex.
love
Welcome
it.
to the show. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me on, Dre.
All right, everyone, give a round of applause. All right, this is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on. In 1 minute or less, how does Alex get ranking on page 1 of Google?
Research. Research is the number one answer. So if you don't know the data, then you don't know what you're doing, right? Because you're just playing pin the tail on the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
So biggest thing I do is get a baseline for yourself, figure out what your backlink profile looks like, figure out what your technical on page, and then do the same thing for your top 3 competitors for whatever SERP that you're trying to rank on. And then you can compare those gaps, and that'll give you a head start on exactly what needs to be done immediately.
Love it. Love it. Hold on. Let's take this way back. Take us back. Take us way back to when you first got into SEO.
Very first got into SEO. So I was a logo designer, and majority of the graphic design work that I was doing was for web. And so when I got into SEO, it was because I was building these websites as a graphic designer. And my biggest issue was these sites that I was building weren't being found by anybody. And I assumed once you build the site, automatically you would just be found on the internet. I didn't even understand that SEO was needed until a client called me out and said, no, SEO needs to be included in the website. And so then I had to figure out what SEO was.
Oh man. All right. So like, how'd you actually learn it then?
Realistically, I did just a lot of networking. So everybody has a different opinion on SEO, and I'm a data, numbers, formula kind of guy, right? And that's why I like design, because everything has rules and standards that you run by with design, right? With SEO, it's kind of the wild, wild west. So you can kind of do whatever, and everybody has their own opinion. And so what I started doing is I started taking all the things that people were saying and start doing my own testing. And the thing that, I'm going to age myself here, way back in the day when I got really serious about it, I had clients, and I was like, okay, I keep testing stuff, but there's more that I don't know. I jumped into the OMG group, the one-man gang. That's from way back when. And so I know Ortiz from way back when, and that's really what got me moving down the SEO path at an accelerated rate.
Love it. Happy birthday, Gregory Ortiz's birthday today. So I want to, let's see, now walk us through like your agency journey, because you were, before the pre-show, you were actually talking about like you had multiple agencies. I thought you only had this one agency. So let's take us back to when you first started your first agency, and then walk us through your
my first agency was a web design agency.
Okay.
So nothing to do with SEO. And then what I ended up learning was, hey, only so many people will pay so much for recurring hosting, right?
Yeah.
And maintenance services. You kind of capped out.
Yeah.
And I had all these clients asking for SEO. And so I actually ended up selling off the web design agency, or I called it a firm back then, but it was basically an agency.
Yeah.
And dove directly into not SEO specifically. I was still learning about SEO at the time. Built up, I got really into funnel design, because that allowed me to kind of do more of the design tinkering than the SEO necessarily. And then, so I got really into CRO. I had a full funnel and CRO agency that I built and sold. And then just because I was so reliant on, specifically at the time, it was ClickFunnels, right? Okay. And so ClickFunnels was like a make it or break it. And I was like, you know what? I want to be able to control things a little bit more. I didn't like some of the updates that they were doing. And so that's when I decided, hey, I'm comfortable with the CRO. I've learned a bunch with the SEO side of things. I can now deliver some results. Built an SEO agency, and we grew really fast and grew really big. And I had all my learning basically condensed down. I screwed everything up that there was to screw up. And from there, I then sold my portion of the agency because I had partnered with a guy. And from there, I went ahead and basically took like a year sabbatical and was like, hey, I'm going to retire and everything's great. And that was terribly boring. And so I started a lead gen agency and was doing pay-per-call. Really, really enjoyed that. Was in a car accident and had to step away from a computer for like 6 months in order to completely relearn how to talk and walk and all sorts of fun stuff. And found out that, hey, you know what? This agency that I thought ran all by itself actually doesn't run all by itself. And so I had to rebuild it. During that time, I had also been into MassPage. I had a piece of software out there, a couple of different masterminds that I ran and built. I sold 2 of them. And so, yeah, ever since 2020, when, my lead gen agency took the biggest hit because, everybody was either booked out or closing. At that point, I've been doing a lot of agency consulting. And in that time period, I've also learned a lot about data. And currently, I've had clients, I wouldn't say like a proper agency, but just clients here and there. Between then and now, I built a small little enterprise SEO agency that I built and sold. And right now I've got a data and technology company that is acting as essentially an intent data and identity resolution agency.
Got it, guys. So when you say you sell your agency, who's buying it and what do they get?
It just kind of depends. My selling my agency initially, like my web design firm was not like your traditional liquidation. I basically just sold my list of clientele that were paying on a monthly basis, and all of everybody that was in the pipeline, and said, hey, here's everything, here's how we do stuff, and kind of handed it over. But then, fast forward to like my big SEO agency as an example, that also wasn't a traditional sale, because that sale was I just got bought out essentially. Right. And so a lot of different ways to go ahead and sell an agency. I've sold to traditional business owners.
Okay.
So a lot of what I sold with the lead gen, all of those properties and everything else, those were partners that were paying per call. And I sold the properties that were generating them, calls. So I sold that out. I have sold, like masterminds to individuals that have then rolled that into other things that they're doing. I actually ended up closing down my WordPress plugin completely because I'm not a software person, and I learned a ton of lessons with that, and I was losing about $30,000 a month on dev costs, and so I didn't sell that one. I just closed it. So I've kind of run the gamut.
Yeah.
So it really just depends upon what you're doing. I've sold a lot of stuff in marketplaces as well, and so there's always somebody that'll buy whatever you've built.
Nice. Love that. And we have Clint here, Caveman Alex, looking good, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. So let's get into our conversation of today, the topic of today, and which is how to build a successful agency and like learn how you manage 400 plus SEO clients, which is crazy of me feeling like managing 10 clients. I don't know how you were able to do it with 400. But so the first part of this is systemizing without sacrificing customization. So how can you systemize your delivery process without treating every client the same?
So there's 2 ends of the spectrum, right? So the first end of the spectrum is complete productization. Everybody gets the same thing regardless, right? And then the opposite end is fully custom. Every single thing is a brand new, build. And the problem with customization is, if you're going fully custom, is that you can't scale that, right? It takes there's no processes or systems that allow for full custom. And then you have a lot of key man risk too that you're going to end up leaning into. And a lot of agencies go down that rabbit hole, or you go the complete opposite road, right? And you just productize everything. And essentially you become instead of a service provider, you're essentially a digital products provider, right? And in a lot of ways, a lot of agencies are tempted to go that direction once they hit a point of frustration, because they're like, look, if I can I know I'm really good at this one thing, or my team's really good at this one thing. I'm just going to sell that consistently. And that's one way to go about it, but it does not serve clients the best. And so the middle ground of that is leaning on your processes and building a consistent productized process that produces custom results. And so that's kind of what I specialize in. And so if you have 10 different clients come through your process, they're all going to get the same stuff done, right? But it's going to be customized to their situation. And that's the difference.
Excellent.
All right. So can you walk us through like of how a flexible internal fulfillment system would look like then?
Yeah. So it really just has to do with building a system where you have stages, right? And so research is a big stage. So being able to, hey, we're performing the research the same on all clients, right? We're finding out what all the gaps are on all the clients. We're figuring out, hey, we're able to cost model backlinks. We're able to do all these different things. The process of doing that research is the same regardless of the client. The output from the research is going to be completely different. So your enterprise client's going to need completely different things than your local contractor, right? The research and the process that you've built, same exact process that they've gone through, but they get different outputs, right? And so your delivery based on that is going to be different, but it's going to be systematized on how it's delivered, which is going to be the same.
Got it. So when you had your agency, I'm curious, like how many did you actually have employees then, like doing each one of these? 83. 83 employees. And they all had their own process, each one was doing something in particular.
Well, I had them broken down into departments, and of course it took me time to get to 83. I didn't go from 0 to 83 initially. And I had different departments, and every department lead was responsible for the process for that department and to keep that updated and everything else. And then everybody inside of that department, what they would be doing is they'd be giving feedback to that process, essentially. And so everything was very documented. Everything was very streamlined from that perspective, because from the top of everything, if you want to go ahead and make tweaks, right? If you're just like, hey, I just want to go ahead and make this one change and see if it's good or bad, that's going to A, potentially risk your clients, and then B, it's going to affect everything else, because usually it's separate from whatever you're currently doing. And so now you're putting a wrench in the system. And so being able to have a streamlined process that everybody's following, everybody's a part of, everybody's involved in, all of a sudden now, instead of just being top down to go ahead and make tweaks, you're making 1,000 tiny little micro tweaks at all times to further optimize, and the whole system gets better faster by doing that.
Got it. Love that. Okay, so with all the agency owners that you've been advising, like what's the most like manual thing that you see them doing right now that should be automated?
The biggest thing that I see agency owners not wanting to give up, which is ironic because it's probably one of the first things that you should give up, is account management, actually talking with clients, because that's their rapport, that's the ability to piss off a client or win over a client, And so the reality of it is most of the times that's actually the easiest thing to outsource, hire out, process, standardize, because it's all managing expectations, right? And that goes hand in hand with the other biggest thing is just over servicing, right? And a lot of these clients, you jump on and you're like, oh, well, what about this? And I heard about that and whatever. Well, let's try it and we'll go ahead and add that and let's whatever. And next thing you know, you're doing all this additional work outside of scope for no additional money or very little. And it completely demolishes your internal processes that you do have in store. And then it also affects the delivery on every other client that you have.
Got it. I mean, but what happens if the client wants to speak to you, like the owner, like when do you finally kind of let go of being that face?
So you can be the face, but that doesn't mean that you have access.
Right? All right. Got it.
So if you go to any large company, right, are you going to personally meet with that CEO?
No.
Rarely.
Yeah, unless
Rarely.
you get interviewed.
If you're hiring the agency that they run, if you're buying the product that they have, if you're doing, so it's a common misconception that you have to be that face, and it's actually better if your team handles the client for you, because then A, you avoid key man risk, B, you aren't the bottleneck. Like, there's so many reasons why handing that off is beneficial, not only for you, but also for the client.
Got it. Yeah, Clint's saying here, 30-minute call turned into a 2-hour call. So
Easy, all day long. And there goes your whole day, right?
yeah, exactly. So that's why when I have my Zoom, if you don't pay for the Zoom, you get the 40 minutes. And Mark is like, you'll get shut off. Like,
Forced cut off.
Yeah, you get forced cut off. I'm like, I schedule 25. I go, and if it gets cut off, we're done talking. So, so how can someone like know if the systems are too like customized or not standard enough? Like how are you like balancing this?
So the biggest thing there is, how many more clients are you able to take on under the current bandwidth that you have, right? So you, Dre, as an example, if you took on an additional 5 clients next week.
Oh, I can't. I mean, I would love to, but
that means that you're too customized and you don't have enough streamlined systems, right?
All right. I get it. Okay. All right. Let's go into part 2 of the topic here, as when you have a concept of protecting margins and knowing your numbers. I mean, this is something that you were talking about here. If you wrote down your margins today, what would you be proud or what would you be proud or shocked? I mean, would you be proud or shocked? So like, what's this concept about?
So margin is your take home, right?
Okay,
it's your net. And so that's really why we're all in business, is to make money.
Yes.
So how much money are you actually walking away with? So the over servicing that I spoke about, that eats into margin, right? And so that's one of the biggest reasons that you're going to end up losing margin, is due to over servicing. And so what you would be, a lot of business owners are really happy at like 40 to 50% and proud of that. I personally think you should be at 60+% margin. And the reason for being at 60+% margin is from growth, right? If you're not making at least what you're being paid, right, at least 50%, and I like to be at the 60% or more, then from a growth perspective, if you want to go build a PBN, you don't have the capital to do it. If you want to go invest in something, you want to go acquire another business and roll it into the agency, if you want to go on a hiring spree, you don't have the capital in order to grow sustainably without literally risking everything. And risking it for the biscuit is not the kind of way that you want to run an agency.
Oh yeah. So I'm curious, like, what are some hidden costs that you see that most agencies are overlooking when calculating these margins?
So the biggest thing there is what they promise, right? So if you come in as a client and I say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get you the, top spot on Google, then, and that's it, then the reality of it is rankings is what a majority of SEO agencies run on. And it's just a falsity, because you as a business owner don't know what that actually means. That's great. You assume that being at the top spot on Google is going to go ahead and get you more sales. Get more lead flow.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, me as an SEO, I can get you to top spot, but if it's on a term that doesn't produce leads or isn't a commercial term, then all of a sudden I've done my job and you're unhappy. So it's a mismatch of expectations. And so framing proper expectations and having total clarity on deliverables is going to be the biggest thing that allows you to not over service. Because if you come in and you're not happy, then in order for me to keep you, what am I going to do? I'm going to over service you. I'm going to go ahead and dip into my margin and spend more money to try to get you a result, right? And continue to try to do that month over month is what most agency owners end up doing.
Yep. Got it. Okay, so when it comes to like even increasing margins, like say by raising your prices, how do you communicate this, and what are some strategies like raising your prices without scaring your clients away?
Well, I mean, interest rates rise every year. So if you're not raising your prices on a yearly basis, you're actually losing money. first off. And then second off, from a pricing perspective, you should realistically, I've seen it done two ways successfully. The first is based on demand. As the more clients you get, your prices should naturally go higher because you have more demand. That's kind of an old school methodology that I got from like web and design, right? And it still works to this day. But the most effective is being able to cost model your pricing so you know exactly what it's going to cost to deliver, which is what a lot of agencies don't know out of the gate first off. So that's problem one. But then being able to charge based on the value that you're delivering. So if you're a hot dog stand and I'm doing SEO for you, the amount of value that I'm able to do for the same amount of work as a PI attorney, right, is going to be vastly different. And therefore, the amount that I can charge that hot dog stand is going to be far less than that PI attorney. And so that's one of the best ways to not leave money on the table, is to price accordingly.
Got it. So when it comes to when you raise, so do you ever like raise like the monthly prices of a current client, or do you just kind of raise your prices when future clients are like, or when it comes down to that? Because
all clients.
All clients, yeah.
All clients.
Oh man.
I highly suggest all clients. Now that being said, from a pricing perspective, I typically suggest doing pricing a little bit differently, right? And so from a pricing perspective, most agencies are based off retainer. And the problem with retainer is you have resource allocation issues, right? And so, hey, in order to get you the result that you want, I can only spend X because that's all you're paying me, right? And so the goalpost might be way further out. So now in order to get to that goalpost, it's going to be however many months out just in order to get that result, right? And the problem is there's this constant moving of goalposts. As you know, algorithms change, new competitors enter market, etc. And so now it's a constant guessing game on the retainer side of things. So I like to charge for the research on the front end, get a clear roadmap of deliverables, being able to cost model everything out, have clearly defined pricing and expectations. And then for delivery on that roadmap, I like to do it all in one go, one big sprint. And the reason for that is because as those goalposts moves and algorithm changes and new people enter the market, you're going to constantly be in a state of being behind, right? And so eventually you might be able to catch up, but clients are impatient. So if you can do as many quick wins as possible and close those gaps as quick as possible, then you're going to have a very happy client. Caveat is most clients can't afford to do that, right? And that's why I'm a big fan of financing, which is not something that you see popularized in SEO, but it's popularized everywhere else. And so I don't know why we're behind the times on that, but I like offering financing to clients and say, hey, you know what? It's going to be, research says it's going to be 80 grand to go ahead and get you to where you need to be in, your premium positioning. Let's go ahead and finance that, get you to that position. And now with the position that we've gotten you, then you can go ahead and pay that loan off with that money instead of trying to drip, over the next 18 months or whatever.
Got it. So, are you offering the financing so it's going to your company, or you're giving them to like, hey, go to the bank and get it financed? How's it work?
They can finance however they please at the end of the day. Some people have great relationships with their bank. Most don't. And so being able to partner with somebody that specializes in financing is really important. I know we have a couple of individuals that we internally have all of our clients go to.
Got it. Love that idea. Okay. So let's go on to so actually, you know what? With all this margins and clients and costs and modeling, like, are there any like resources or systems or tools that you've used or could recommend to like agency owners to kind of like really do this out and price things out?
So the biggest thing there is I like to jump into an ERP. As opposed to, I know there's a lot of people out there that like go high level or ClickUp or what have you. But the biggest thing that is missing with all of that is that you're not able to account for labor costs, time, and then there's no true like financing reports. And so an ERP like a Zoho or an Odoo or you could go NetSuite. Like there's a lot of options out there. You're having everything under one umbrella. First off, it's going to be easier to manage. and then it's going to give you a lot more insights into your agency. So that's going to be the one tool that I would suggest that's going to make the biggest difference, just to be able to gather those numbers and be able to go ahead and make sure that you know where you sit.
Got it. So we had a question here from Eric. Real quick, Eric, you might have to explain more, because he was just curious. Is it most local SEO or organic? I wouldn't. Think if you could clarify that a little bit more.
Both.
Okay.
So this applies to maps and search. It doesn't matter which you're doing, right?
Got it.
So you're even if you're looking at like a CID link, right? That link can have a backlink profile, right? Your map share link can have a backlink profile. And there's a lot of research. GMB Crush is a good tool as an example. That pulls a really detailed local report for Google Business Profile listings. So, there's a ton of tools that you can do with local. It doesn't have to just be organic.
Got it. Okay. So Clint here goes, when you do the financing option, do you then have them pay for a certain period of time, like pay for the year?
No. So the way that I like to do it is I like to do it per service, per area, right? So if we're targeting the highest profit service that they offer or product, right, in whatever area that they serve that is the highest population, right? So you're going to go after the most people and make the most money possible immediately. Okay. And so that way it very clearly narrows. I'm not doing all of your SEO, right? I'm only focusing specifically on this one target. So that way everything is, from a delivery perspective, very, very clear and cut and dry. There's clear expectations on their side, and then there's clear lines in the sand that you can go ahead and draw for your team. And so the time period is irrelevant then, because you're not looking for, hey, a year of SEO retainers, going to be $24,000. And so we're just going to finance a year of retainer down. No, it's like, hey, I did the research and I said, in order to get you into that top, premium positioning, those top spots, this is what it's going to take in order to compete, right? And so we need X amount of content, X amount of links, X amount of, labor for technical, X, whatever, right? And so you cost model all of that out, figure out, okay, well, based on what they're going to be making in a top position from a traffic perspective, based on their conversion rate, based on their profit margin, et cetera. Okay, well, how much value are you, delivering to them? Is there a gap between your cost and that value? And if so, what percentage of that do you want to make, right? So now you're able to go ahead and clearly define a price and then finance that price in order to get to that position. The position that your target is on is not the delivery. The delivery is the roadmap of items that you're going to be doing to get there. So a lot of the times you can say, hey, it would be unreasonable to assume that if you're not doing if you're doing what the top 3 people combined are doing to be in that position, it would be unreasonable to assume that you wouldn't also be in that position, correct? Awesome. So here's that list of everything. Here's what they are paying for. Here's the clear expectation of deliverables to be done. And so once those deliverables are done, you've completed that service. That's what you're financing.
So then that's it. Then they're not. Then they're done. If you want to continue to do some other things, a whole another SLA comes up.
No. So I'm not against retainer. I'm just against retainer on the front end.
Oh, okay.
So there's still competitors in the market, and they're still producing stuff, right? Okay. So now, in order to maintain the lead that you just got, you need to match that frequency, right? So hey, we still need to be producing X amount of pieces of content. We still need to be producing X amount of links. We still need to be producing X amount of whatever, right? And so you're still going to have frequency of items that need to be done on a monthly basis. The benefit is, what a lot of agencies are scared of is that maintenance mode, right? The minimal just to maintain.
Yep.
Well, that's what I want to get to as quickly as possible, because the reality of it is, if you're a client, then I just got you to premium positioning because you financed this big sprint, right? First off, you're more invested, right? And you're going to stick with us until at the very least you pay off your loan, right? Second off, you just had all these quick wins that you didn't have with any other agency. And then third off, the best part is you understand what insurance is, right? You just made a big purchase and you want to ensure that that continues to pay. And so now your retainer on a monthly basis thereafter is essentially insurance for what you're,
Love that. Love that analogy. Love that. I'm going to use that. That's a good one. All right. So, man, time's flying over here. So I want to make sure we cover more of our topics here. So I want to go into the third part of the segment is aligning client expectations with strategy. So we kind of touched upon this. I mean, you talked about, are your clients clear on what you're doing and how it connects to the results they care about? Can you explain this a little more?
Yeah. So not all clients want to grow to the moon. Right? Some clients want to stay small and just maintain, be comfy. I mean, other clients have expectations that maybe don't align with SEO at all. Maybe they're not a good fit. And so the reality of it is making sure that your expectations going into this business deal is very clear from both sides. And so what I like to do is I like to over communicate and set your framing for the relationship up. A lot of the times, and you see this a lot with sales guys, is they're like, well, I don't really care as long as they pay, right? And that's terrible because it's just short-sighted. And your agency in its current iteration has a bandwidth limit on how many clients you can go ahead and handle currently. So you have to look at those slots as, do you want to fill them with just anybody, or do you want to fill them with your ideal client? And so essentially what you do is you interview these leads and say, hey, we're only looking to take on a very specific type of clientele. And therefore, we need you to make sure that you're going to fit that. And that's a power dynamic switch, in which case now they don't have all the power and you do, because you're making the call. And so now you're able to go ahead and ask a ton of questions as to what their priorities are, what led them to this, what are their conversion rates? How are they operating? Are they actually worth promoting? Because there's a lot of crap businesses out there. Maybe you don't want to rank them, And so being able to define all those things from your end as an agency is really good. And then also from the client side, hey, I now feel heard and seen, and I know that this agency understands what my alignment is, what my goals are. And the cool thing about that from a longer term perspective is, hey, I want to grow with this agency. Hey, all of these things come down to not in the first 3 months, 6 months, whatever, but being able to go ahead and have clients long term for years is something that a lot of agencies don't have. So they end up rebuilding their entire agency a couple times a year because they don't have any length of time with those clients that are in years. And that can easily be overdone or overtaken by just pre-framing the relationship at the beginning, making sure that everything aligns so that 4 months in, you're not having issues, right? And it also makes everything clear so that there isn't any questions and the client doesn't be like, oh, well, I don't know about this. And what about that? And it's like, no, everything was clearly understood from the get.
Got it. Okay, so what are some tips for those to explain like the SEO progress to like non-technical clients? I mean, I actually have this come up. I mean, 'cause for me, it's been a lot of referrals, and they know they need SEO, and these are like enterprise companies, and they know SEO. But when it comes to local clients, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and it's like, so I mean, once they start getting to more local SEO, like what's a good way to kind of like explain like the process that you've seen for non-technical SEO?
The process in regards to actually delivery, or process in regards to progress? Well, in the middle of both. I guess they don't really need to know what's happening. Well, maybe they do. Actually, they do want to know. There's times like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? A lot of them. Yeah. So there's something, I'm going to start with a quick story. There's something called a moonshot. And a moonshot basically is something that is to keep you busy and keep you involved without actually you being involved, right? So, was it Domino's, I want to say, is the one that really took this off. So when you order a pizza and you're just hoping it's going to show up in 30 minutes, right? And then you sit there to twiddle your thumbs, potentially cancel, you end up eating something else, then you're not hungry, whatever.
Okay.
But they tell you, hey, it's in the oven, it's being baked, here's your driver, watch the car come. So you're involved in the process, right, by being informed, but you're not actually part of the process. And so Uber took this as well, right, and said, hey, all these people are canceling their orders because they don't know where this car is, and so they're making other decisions, jumping in taxis, whatever. Okay. So that's why you can actively track your car all the way there. Hey, it's 2 minutes out. Hey, it's 30 seconds out. Hey, it's this color. Hey, it's this whatever, right? So the more informed they are, the more involved they feel, the more comforted they are. So I like to apply that same moonshot to SEO, and inside of your, hopefully an ERP or whatever tool you have for project management, every time something is being done, they need to be involved.
Got it.
So they need to be notified. Hey,
yep.
Our team just wrote this piece of content. Hey, we just acquired this link. Hey, we just did this. Hey, we just finished this scope. This closes out this, section or milestone. This does whatever, right? So the more involved you can do, my goal is to always overwhelm them, because if you get to a point of, hey, I don't need any more notifications. I'm good. I trust you. I'm busy. All of a sudden, that is a level of trust, in which case most agencies never reach. And then that is a client that you're going to have for years. Yeah. And so from the involvement perspective, there's that. And then the actual progress, I think a lot of SEOs try to get too technical. And the reality of it is most of it's Greek to these clients, right? Yeah. But what isn't Greek is if you relate it back to sales. And so attribution is really important to be able to say, hey, you got this many leads from this campaign, right? Okay. So, hey, we're talking about local as an example. You've got Google Business Profile Insights. Hey, this many people have actively called off of the profile. Now, based on your call conversion rate, that means that you should have brought in X number of sales based on what we've done, right? So when you start relating it back to bottom line dollars, then not only are you justifying the value of your services, but B, you're also taking the responsibility of those sales off of your plate, and you're separating the expectation, and you're saying like, hey, I'm doing my part. Are you doing your part? If your sales aren't to where they need to be, maybe that's an internal sales issue. It's not a marketing issue, right? And so you're able to kind of avoid a lot of issues by sharing progress in a form that they understand.
Love it. Like, I love that moonshot method of doing things, and that's great, good stuff there. I'm definitely going to implement that as well. So speaking of data and applying things like becoming truly data driven is like the next part of this segment here is, are you letting data lead, or are you reacting and hoping for the best? Can you explain?
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest thing that I see with agencies and that affected our agency and allowed me to not only be crazy confident in our services, but also have everybody else in the agency be confident, and that includes our salespeople, was the level to which we did our research, right? And so most agencies have some sort of level of key man risk, right? Whether it's on their lead SEO or it's on the agency owner or whatever else. You've been around this for a while. You're able to look at something and be like, oh, this is missing, that needs to be done, what have you. And those are usually generally a good starting place, right? But the reality of it is if you're only going off of that, then you're leaving a lot of things on the table that aren't uncovered, right? B, what happens if that person gets hit by a bus or taken out or skydives and breaks their neck or whatever, right? The reality of it is you're resting a lot of responsibility outside of your agency. So when you keep it inside your agency and you keep it on processes and systems, that's actual enterprise value that you're able to go ahead and cash out on later. Whereas that one individual is actually going to make you less money on an exit. And so what I like to do is I like to go ahead and build out the processes that, like we discussed earlier, are going to alleviate that, right? Because a lot of the times you're in like a unicorn situation where, hey, this person is doing all of the strategy, they're doing all the SEO, they're doing all the whatever, and if they're gone, you're screwed. And so being able to implement processes that take that and delineate it across the team is going to be way, way easier. So from a process and procedure perspective, being able to go ahead and have, hey, I'm not going to look at and rely on just one database, right? So what's your favorite database of choice here, Dre? What do you guys use?
Or
Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, Majestic?
I use Search Atlas.
Okay, Search Atlas. All right. So you're grabbing a little bit of everything, right? But it's all filtered through that, right? And so is Search Atlas going to give you everything from all of those? No, but it's going to give you a general idea of everything. So you're already ahead of the game a little bit on you're still utilizing more than one database. A lot of agencies only lean on one, whether it be Ahrefs, Moz, Majestic, or SEMrush. Usually it's Ahrefs or SEMrush. But the reality of it is if you pull from all four of those, right? And then you're able to go ahead and combine that data and look at it holistically, that's going to give you a totally different picture, right, than what you're doing right now. And so from a data perspective, the more data, the better, is generally the rule of thumb there. So when you come to a data-driven agency, it all has to do with how much data are you working with and are you getting as clear a picture as possible.
Got it. Love that. Can you share maybe an example of a client strategy that completely changed because of what you were, the data revealed for you? I'm curious, like when there were some use cases that you were able to find.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, right? So you go into a situation, you're like, okay, from the onset, it looks like, hey, realistically, this is 100% just an on-page and server issue.
Okay.
They easily fixed. We'll go ahead and we'll migrate them. Not a problem. And you jump into the research and you start looking at profiles and you're like, oh, hey, you know what? Ahrefs and SEMrush missed it, but frickin' Majestic found all these negative, backlinks that are actually the thing affecting rankings here. And so, I mean, there's a lot of instances where the deeper you dive, the more you find, and the more you're able to realize, oh, hey, that instinct was right and it's justified by data, or hey, I was actually completely wrong. I assumed it was this and it was something else. And got it. A lot of the times it's, hey, we do need to go ahead and fix on page, but in addition to that, there's this underlying issue that I didn't know and I would have blamed on something else. Right?
There you go. Love that. Okay, we're coming close to the end here, and guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the live chat. This is the last segment part of building a successful agency, is designing it around your strengths. This is another concept that you brought up to me. What would your business look like if you only did what you were good at? So a lot of agency owners don't necessarily want to leave their agency.
Building yourself out of an agency is an ideal situation from an exit perspective, but a lot of agency owners, we're in this because we enjoy it, right? And so what we end up doing is we end up putting ourselves in a position of the unicorn specialist over here, where I've got all these different things on my plate and maybe 80% of them I don't like doing, right? Are you doing the books? Are you doing the fulfillment? Are you doing, you're doing everything, Dre. So what are the things that you enjoy the most out of your day-to-day?
I enjoy my time off.
So maybe you're a person where you're like, hey, I want to go ahead and build myself completely out of the agency. Some agency owners are like, hey, I'm really good at strategy and I just want to focus on strategy. And so now I'm going to treat my position as a strategist just like any other position. I'm going to document it, build around it, and I'm going to be the one fulfilling that. And so all the other jobs that they don't like, we outsource, right? And so if one of their jobs, right, is fulfillment, well, fulfillment can be broken down into a ton of different things. Okay, well, typically I'll do all of the fulfillment, let's say. Well, how do you outsource that? You want to go find another unicorn that's just like you? Well, that's unrealistic. And so what you need to do is you need to break that down into all the different services and skill sets that are offered inside of that. right?
Got it,
And now
got
you're
it.
like, hey, I need to hire somebody for content. I need to hire somebody for links. I need to hire somebody for accounting, right? I need to hire somebody for account management. I need to hire, etc. And so now you got, a half dozen people that you can go ahead and positions that need to be documented, processes that need to be built, and people that need to be hired. But then once that's put in place, all of a sudden, all of that is confidently off your plate, and you're able to go ahead and focus just on the job that you enjoy.
Love that. Yes, strategy is something I do love doing, like coming in, look at the strategy, and then, but I love that part. So then let everything else go. I got it. Okay. Nice.
But you're not just letting it go to random people, right? You're letting them go to that process that you're the one that developed, and so that's what you have that trust in.
Got it. Love it. Okay, I didn't see any other questions that come in here, so I'm going to go ahead and ask my last question that I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. If someone wanted to get into the SEO space, SEO industry, become an SEO professional themselves, what would your advice be to them?
So Learn SEO is a free resource, right? And so if you're going to get into SEO, my biggest recommendation is to go one of two routes. Is go to Learn SEO and then start your own projects and then tinker and figure out, hey, what works for you? What do you actually enjoy? What do you not enjoy, right? The other way that I see people going about it is going out and starting their own agency. A lot of people that have worked for another agency, I actually don't suggest that, because if you go out and you work for an agency, then you're going to pick up all their bad habits, right? Especially larger agencies.
Yep.
And they don't treat their clients the same as what you're going to be doing as a small agency, right?
Got it.
And so you need to lean into your strengths as a small agency. And so the second way is to build the front end first. And so find a really good white label partner that you have confidence in that can deliver. And then all you need to focus on is all the acquisition models, all the sales, all your marketing, build your brand, everything else. And then once you have that built and running operationally efficiently, then you can look at going ahead and taking parts of that white label fulfillment and replacing that with internal operations. So that's my biggest suggestion there.
Love that. Okay, so for this episode to feel complete for you, any last words for the audience, and how can people get a hold of you?
My biggest advice is just do your own testing, right? So don't believe everything that everybody else is saying. And from an agency perspective, if you're struggling, then just take a step back and reevaluate, okay, well, have I built an agency that aligns with what I want to be doing in the life I want to be living? Everybody can find me at all my socials are Alex C. Barr, Barr, and alexcbarr.com.
Love it. Everyone's a good round of applause. Alex,
And you too, Greg.
Man, you killed it. Can you hold on for one quick second while I sign off here? Hold on for one quick second.
Of course.
All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you next week. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, magicpr.com. Check that out. And if you want a copy of the SEO in 2025 book, shoot me an email at dre@seo.video. Till next time, I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Is incredible from the special SEO professionals. SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo.